Hey, what's up guys, Ninja here, and today we're back at it with a Dragon Ball video. And in today's video, we'll be discussing Dragon Ball Super. Now, I fully do understand that Dragon Ball Super is quite controversial, especially with the recent Trunks arc, which a lot of fans were decisive. But there's no question, Dragon Ball Super has done some good. Now, I understand that of course it may not be your favorite, and believe me, it's not a great series by any means. But in terms of what it's done for the community, it's done some really good things when it comes down to influencing the Dragon Ball community and stuff. And in today's video, we'll be breaking down to the top 3 things that Dragon Ball Super has done for the Dragon Ball community. Number 3 is bringing back the hype and the discussions. Before Dragon Ball Super dropped, the Dragon Ball community was still pretty active. Like, we got a couple of discussions, theories, and all that stuff. And it was all thanks to people like Rhymestyle, Black and Fist, Quaman, and all these people that kept the enthusiasm in the Dragon Ball community going. But even then, it wasn't as big as it was when Dragon Ball Super came around. When Dragon Ball Super came around, it got people back into Dragon Ball. Next thing you know, you see these creative people dropping theories, enthusiasm in their voice, and every single week you will get activity. Nearly every single day, a Dragon Ball Super theory is probably uploaded on YouTube. It kept the enthusiasm and the hype going, like how it was when we were watching it as kids on Toonami, wondering what would happen in the next episode, theorizing with our friends. All this fun stuff was coming back to us as adults and teenagers and everything. And I think that's one of the best things Dragon Ball Super has done. Increase the amount of activity in the Dragon Ball YouTube community, create consistent theories, get people more active, and all this awesome stuff that it's done. But moving on to number 2. Number 2 is getting people to watch the series in Japanese. Now, this may come off as like me being like an elitist or a purist or anything like that. No, trust me, that's not what I'm trying to come off as. What I'm trying to get at here is, before Dragon Ball Super aired, at least 60 to 75% of the Dragon Ball community hadn't seen the series in Japanese. They'd only seen it in English. They preferred it in English, and they wouldn't really give the Japanese a try. And when Dragon Ball Super came out, there was no English dub at first. In fact, there was even no legal way to watch an English sub. They had to watch it in Japanese, meaning they experienced the series in its original format. They were so used to the English dub that they didn't even bother to give the Japanese dub a try. And when Dragon Ball Super came out, forcing them pretty much to give this series a try in Japanese, they really liked it and it grew on them. And now, many months later, you will find a crazy amount of people that actually prefer Dragon Ball Super in Japanese than they do English. Now, don't get me wrong, preference is completely subjective. You're allowed to like whatever you want, but it really does make me smile of how many Dragon Ball fans have experienced and have a taste of what the original series was like in its original language, and yeah. Because if I'm being honest, before Dragon Ball Super, most Dragon Ball English fans, or at least a good portion of them, were really rude and offensive to the original Japanese. But now that Dragon Ball Super has come out and they actually experienced it, they have gained some new respect for it, and man, that really does make me smile. But now let's go on to number 1. Number 1 is persuading Dragon Ball fans to watch the original Dragon Ball itself. Now, if you don't know what I'm getting at here, you remember episode 69 of Dragon Ball Super where Arale appeared? So many Dragon Ball fans were so happy and they were laughing their butts off like, who is this Arale character? And they wanted to see more of her. Little did they know they could actually even see more of her. There were some adventures of her and stuff. And this persuaded them to watch the original Dragon Ball, the adventures of Goku as a kid, and all that stuff of how everything before Z pretty much. Because most Dragon Ball fans, or not most, but a good portion of them have only seen Z. They haven't seen like the original Dragon Ball when Goku was a kid or anything like that. And it's a good thing that when they see the original Dragon Ball, they get the whole point of the story. Because if they've only seen Z, they've technically only seen like a third or a fourth of the actual story. But when they watch the original Dragon Ball, they get a full hindsight of the story and they become more intellectual as Dragon Ball fans. And that's really cool. And watching the original Dragon Ball will completely change your view on how you viewed Z. Like, you'll be like, whoa, I never knew. Whoa, so that's who Tien Shinhan was. Oh, so that's what Launch was like. Oh, yeah. You'll see all this stuff that was in Z that, you know, pretty much you didn't even know originated from the original Dragon Ball and stuff. And it's really cool that Dragon Ball Super like pretty much influences. Like, it really did make me smile of when I saw people on Twitter say, I've never seen the original Dragon Ball or Dr. Slump, but now I really want to after seeing Arale be this funny and stuff. That really did make me smile, and yeah. And this has been my short little video on the top 3 things that Dragon Ball Super has done for the Dragon Ball community. What did you guys think of the video? What do you guys think is the best thing that Dragon Ball Super has done for the Dragon Ball community? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. But anyways guys, thanks so much for watching. Ninja out. Peace everybody.